Good morning, everybody. Welcome. It's the first weekly live of the year, of the school year, I guess you could say. My name is Karen Kong. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Ottawa, Canada, and welcome to my weekly This or That Thursday. So I post in my group try to do it every week. Two cards for you to choose from, for me to for you to vote and for me to make on Thursday mornings. Oh my goodness, it's clearly been a few months since my last Facebook Live. I took the summer off. It's just really busy with the kids home, and this year was extra busy. I mean, like, I don't know, I say that word a lot, and it's probably overused, but like life just does not slow down when they're home for the summer. You think you're going to have more time, but you don't. And this year, my son moved out to residence. He's in his first year university, and so we had a bunch of things to do this summer to get him ready, like choose courses and visit the campus and think about what he needed for residence, all that. So, and then my daughter started a new school, sort of a new school. She moved from her elementary school and started intermediate school, which is a combination within the high school. So she didn't really need a lot to get started. I don't think there was as much for her, but anyways, it was just a really busy summer, and time gets away from me. My mother had eye surgery, so just like cataract surgery, the first week of September. So right after that, I got the kids all ready. I went to Toronto and spent a few days there taking care of my mom. So I put off starting my weekly lives again until now. So good morning, Sandra. Thanks for joining in. It's nice to be back. I feel like I've just been like crafting in little bits and fits and starts all summer, and my crafting mojo has just not been the same. Like, it just, I don't know, I feel slow. So anyways, I'm starting off nice and easy. I think there's lots of products that I want to play with. Okay, so I'm gonna stop chatting now. I have to get the feed up on my computer so I can see everybody's comments while I'm crafting. So just let me take care of that. If you're joining in for the first time, watching the replay for the first time, I would love it if you say hi and let me know where you're watching from. It's always nice to have company while I craft, and so I can answer questions too. Okay, I have it up on the screen. Let me switch over to my desktop. So, oh, I feel a sneeze coming on. It's still allergy season. I can't believe it. Like this year, allergy season started in like February for me, because like the weather warmed up really briefly in February, and my allergies immediately started up. And we are in the middle of a heat wave here in Ottawa in like mid-September. It's crazy, and my allergies are still going. I feel like I've been on allergy medication forever. So anyways, pardon the sniffles, and hopefully I won't sneeze, and if I have to take off in the middle, you'll understand why. Because I have to sneeze or blow my nose. Okay, so here's the card we're making today. There is actually no stamping, but I will show you the technique I use to create these little leaves here, okay? Because they're not just cut out of cardstock. I actually watercolored it so that I could get variation in the leaf colors, and I think it really adds just like a little extra something to the card. So it's really easy to do. I'll show you how to do that. Let's switch over to the desktop, okay, and get started on card making. All right, close your eyes if you don't like to get motion sick. There we go. Just mounting my camera. Okay, I'm gonna zoom in just a little bit. And you will, of course, let me know if I'm off the camera by any chance. I'm just gonna move my mat so it is centered so I know where I am crafting. I don't know why, every single time I set this up and I will start a new live, and for some reason, I don't know what happens, my camera decides to or the phone decides to change which lens it's using. I don't know. There's three. I can see three camera lenses. I don't know why there's three. In any case, it seems like it's always in a different position, even though my camera mount is in the exact same position every single week. So anyways, here we go. All right, so this is a really simple card. I didn't do any stamping. All I did was I used the DSP, and it's the Nests of Winter DSP, which I really like. I didn't buy the stamps or dies because I thought I could just get away with using the DSP. So I'll show you what's in the pack. So here's, okay, so here's, I'll just put this over here so you can see it. So this is the background that I used. It has little tiny birds on it. I think it's super cute. Here's the back. Okay, and this is what I've been cutting the birds out of. So I have been playing around, and I've been like fussy cutting, but in this particular card I actually just used a circle die from the Layering Circles set to cut out my bird. But you can use a circle punch to do the same thing. I think there are a couple of different sizes, so that might work for you too. But fussy cutting has become not so onerous a chore anymore. I really don't mind it so much anymore. Here's another bird pattern. So there's lots to choose from. These are bigger ones, so I think it works well for different style of cards. I already have an idea for using those birds with the ephemera pack, and I can't wait to try it, but I didn't get around to doing it this week yet. Oh, I didn't show you the back of the other one, just a second. So here's the back of that paper. Isn't that pretty? It's like snowfall. It's so pretty. And these ones are stripes. Sandra, I don't know, when are you going to start card making again? Is there, I guess you don't have a lot of fall events to to make cards for, like birthdays and anniversaries and whatever. I guess you can concentrate on your scrapbooking, eh? Okay, so here's the back of this one. And this is the beautiful birch pattern. So there is an embossing folder that makes the a birch-like pattern on the paper, but I didn't purchase that. But and there's the back. And here's the last pattern, which is one of the ones where you have the designs on both sides of the paper, and it's meant to be cut in half and then divvied up. And I do have, like, somebody else, another demonstrator made a card with this one, and I really like it. I'm just going to case her card, and I will be posting it sometime else. But yeah, so I don't know. Here's the back. Okay. So I think this paper pack is like a really good selection. I was really excited to play with it for this set of lives, and I'll probably keep using it for a while because I really like it. Okay, and here's the ephemera pack. So if you haven't seen the ephemera packs, they launched with the annual catalog. So there's a bunch of like more general themes like florals and stuff in the annual catalog, but this is the Christmas version. So this is Joyful Sayings, and it's just sentiments. So I'll show you this one. I've already punched some of these sentiments out, but here's one of them. So lots to choose from, and it's in like greens and reds, and then a pool party. I think it's pool party or Coastal Cabana, but the colors are always listed on the back. I can check here. I kept the little sticker as I put all my ephemera pack into this case so I wouldn't lose the pieces. That is Pool Party. Okay. Oh, Sandra, you're so lucky. You have nothing to make now except for Christmas cards. You can just make Christmas cards. Here we go. There's the second page of sentiments. And then there's a gold sheet where there's like season's greetings, merry, happy, holidays, joy. So these are really pretty, nice and shiny. Can you see that? And this is the last one. I already punched out that one for this card, so So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun playing with these ephemera packs. I wanted to challenge myself to create cards that only used the paper and the ephemera. I didn't do any stamping, so that was my challenge. Okay, so let's get started. I think I have dilly-dallied long enough. I feel like I'm really out of practice this time, coming back into it after the summer. So first things first, oh, I thought I had a red card base, but no, it's a crumb cake. Okay, so this is a crumb cake card base. I have some cherry cobbler around the bird. And so I'm going to get the cherry cobbler card base out for you. Just a second. I normally pull it all out beforehand so that I'm ready to go, but I made a mistake here. So anyways, here is the crumb cake. So let's put that aside. Make a little bit of room on my desk. As you know, like, I have very limited space here. Although I guess as a crafter, I'm always looking for more space. Even if I had the whole dining room table, I'd probably use the entire thing by the time it was done. Okay, so here's the paper trimmer. I'm going to cut this 8.5 by 11 cardstock in half along the long side at 5.5 inches, and I'm just going to measure it right here on the paper trimmer. Okay, 5.5. I'll use the cutting blade. Whoops. Okay, and then I'm going to turn it and score it at 4.25. Alright, so there's my card base, and I won't fold it just yet until I get this out of the way. So this piece of background matting is the DSP, and it is just slightly shorter, so I cut it 1/8 of an inch shorter than the card front face, which is 4 by 5.5. So I'm going to make it, no, sorry, 4.25 by 5.5. Gosh, it's been so long. I have to rethink all my measurements as I'm going. Okay, so let's just double check. It's better to measure twice, cut once. Is that the saying? So 4 and actually, so because the card face, the card front, this card front is 4.25 by 5.5. I'm going to make it 4 1/8. Yep, by 5 3/8. Good thing I measured that. Okay, 5 3/8. Okay. By 4 1/8. You know what? I'm going to trim the other side because I don't want to cut off that little bird there. 4 1/8. So you can adjust based on your pattern, whichever piece you cut out of your paper, where to cut so that you don't accidentally slice a bird in half if that's not what you want. Okay, so that's all for the paper trimmer. Let's get that out of the way. I'm gonna fold the card in half, the card base in half, and just burnish the fold with a bone folder. Okay. And this is just going to go right centered on the card front. So I'm going to use some tear and tape for that. Just trying to find the end of the tear and tape. There it is. So, hi Tanya! Thanks for dropping in just to say hi. It's nice to be back and to catch up with people. Anybody do anything super fun this summer? I don't think I didn't really go anywhere this summer. Well, okay, we did go to Mont Tremblant in Quebec for a short vacation. It was just like a 4-day getaway. We hung out and just did some activities around the resort. So we did, well, we took the gondola up to the top of the mountain. Oh, excuse me, I'm gonna sneeze. I know I am. Excuse me. All right. So yes, we took the gondola up to the top of the mountain just for the view, and unfortunately, we picked a day when it was cloudy, and you cannot see from the bottom, you know, what it is like at the top. We could see it was a little bit cloudy, but we were hoping that we would get a view when we got up to the top, but no, it was actually worse. So it was a fun ride up, but we didn't really get to see a whole lot. Okay, let's turn this around. I'm gonna center this. So if you have trouble centering your matting pieces before you put them down, I recommend, this is what I do. I always start by lining up the sides and the top and the bottom. And I'm not lying it down. I'm holding it at like a 45-degree angle so that the adhesive doesn't actually get stuck on the paper. So once I've like lined that up and I think it's straight, I will start lying it down on the rest, and then like, okay, so that looks straight, and I will let it come down. All right. There you go. Okay, so the next thing is I need a circle cutout of the cherry cobbler cardstock and out of the DSP. So let's move the cut and emboss machine into our space. This is my mini. I figured that we're only doing a little small die cuts today, so I would use it. Okay, and these are layering circles. So from this set, this is a retired set, but I know that there are circle punches out there that could possibly do the same. I'm not sure what sizes they are, but hopefully you can find something that works. This is the piece of DSP that I just cut out that section because it's easier to work with, because it's a small piece, right? So I'm going to cut out the background first. So let's do that in cherry cobbler. Okay, so who else has played with ephemera packs? Like, it's really new. Like, I haven't even played with the ones in the annual catalog. I'm curious if anybody else has been trying them out, because it makes it a really easy way to mix and match things if you don't have all the colors of inks. Because it's really just one color palette that they use in the summer packs that they have in the, well, it's not summer, but you know, the generic packs that they have in the annual catalog. Okay, so I think that looks pretty much centered. So I'm just going to die cut my bird out of the DSP here. There we go. Oh, it's stuck tight. There we go. Okay, just trying to get myself organized here. I'm trying to move stuff out of the way. All right, so we're done with the die cutting. That's all there is. Now, what I'm going to do is show you how I watercolored this, okay? So this is just using a water painter brush. If you don't have one, they're really economical. All it is just a paintbrush. You fill it with water, and it is super easy to use and very easy to clean, because all you need is a paper towel, and I'll show you what you need to do. Okay, so I used garden green to create these little leaves, and if you see, like, this is the other half of the leaf that I cut it in half. So you can see on this leaf that it's got variations in the leaf colors, and I think that makes it looks prettier, right? It's not just a plain green sprig. And sometimes, you know, that works. Plain solid green works for certain cards, and I just think for this card it adds a little bit extra something. So this is how we're going to do it. So, oh, okay, so I'm going to use the ink pad. This is the garden green ink pad that is in the DSP. So it's garden green. Actually, I wonder if that's garden green too. I think it might be. Yes, the Joyful Sayings, that is also garden green, so all good. So it all matches. That is one of the strong points of Stampin' Up. All the coordinating colors. So I was pressing this so that I would get a little bit of spot of color on the inside of my lid. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my paintbrush, and it's wet. Okay, so I'm just going to take it, and I'm going to take some of this green and make it this is sorry, I'm going to paint it on this paper, and this is not just plain cardstock. This is watercolor paper. Okay, so it has a different consistency, and it doesn't absorb the water the same way. It sits on top more. Okay, so you can see already you're getting variations in your colors. And I'm going to just color in an area big enough I know that I need for my dye. I'll show you where I got the dye from in a second. Okay, so I'm just adding color there. Okay. Alright, so to clean it, and I don't really need to clean it right now because I'm going to use it again, but you just wipe it, squeeze a little bit of the water out and wipe it, and then it's clean again. So it's super easy to use, not messy at all. And I'm just going to use my heat gun to dry it up quicker. You don't have to have a heat gun to do this. You would just have to be patient and wait for it to dry. But I'm going to use my heat gun to speed things up, okay? Just a second. Okay, so now that that's dry, I'm going to add another layer. I want to make it darker because I found that this shade was too light for me. So this is what you need to do, is you need to dry it up before you add on another layer. So I'm just going to take more ink, and I'm going to squeeze a little bit of water out so it doesn't all blop in one place. But you can still spread it around because it is watercolor paper. It will allow you to spread out the color. Whereas on regular cardstock, I think you'll just, and I tried this yesterday, I actually ended up getting big darker blobs in areas I didn't want. And then I realized, oh right, I'm supposed to be doing this on the watercolor paper. Okay, so again, I added some color, and I'm just going to keep doing that in a few layers of it so that I can get the color to darken. And you can see there's like all sorts of variations in where the ink lays, right? Okay. And I'm going to do this one more time to get just a little bit darker. Okay. So as you can see, there's no real pattern or design to how I'm doing this. And that's the beauty of it, is that it will turn out different every single time you do that. All right. One last time. Okay, so you can see there's lots of variation in the pattern. Actually, I don't think this is, oh yeah, I think it's dry enough. Okay, so I actually took the die from this set, from the Sophisticated Sled. I have not stamped with this set yet. You can see it's pristine, but I did think of using this die because I wanted to get some leaves. So that's why I made it about this big. So I'm going to die cut from here, okay? Okay, so let's bring back in, let me close this up before I ink myself. And I'll cover up my water painter. I have a feeling actually this might be too big. Yeah, this is gonna be too big for this mini. So what I'm gonna do is I'll just chop off this section with my paper trimmer off this side. All right, so here I have just big enough for that die. Okay, so let's put that, it's a little bit curly, so let's flatten it. There we go. Sandra, have you tried watercoloring yet? It's, I like the effect you get. And I learned it by watching, actually the person I most admire using it is Tammy Wilson. She's another demonstrator. She does amazing stuff with watercolored images. Okay, I just need my stylus to poke this out. There we go. See that? Look at that. Yes, it's really important to use the right paper. I tried it several times with regular cardstock and it absolutely does not work. I proved it last night. So there you go. That's the different color shading in the paper and it looks really cool. All right, so let's put that aside. Okay. All right, so let's move back to the card. So I'll show you how I created that piece there. So what I actually did is I placed the greenery between this little bird and the back of the red matting. Okay, so let's move this here. I actually cut this in half because I didn't need such a long piece, so I'm going to just trim it. Okay, and I'm just going to adhere it like right along the edge here. Okay, so I'm just going to use little dots of glue. Yes, so you really have to make sure that you have the right paper, and Sandra's saying you have to wait for it to dry. Totally true, which is why I use the heat gun so that I can dry it quickly, so we're not waiting here all day to do the cutting. So I'm just putting a few dots of glue. You really don't need a lot, and I'm only putting it on one side, the side that's going to stick to the circle. I'm going to use my tweezers to pick these up, and I'm just going to put it like right here. Okay, just along the edge. All right, you don't really need much, just a few dots. Okay, and then I'm going to put this on top using dimensionals. It'll make it stand out from the paper. Like I said, I feel like my crafting mojo has been on like hiatus the whole summer. It's just not been the same, and you forget things. So yes, I forgot about, you know, what the measurements were when you cut down to a certain size. I had to remeasure everything to remind myself. And then, you know, with the watercoloring, like I think I've colored like 2 sheets, like not big sheets, but I made 2 attempts on regular cardstock to try to watercolor something. I was like, why is this not looking right? Why does this not turn out? So, and then I finally realized, oh, right, I need to use watercolor paper. Okay, so I'm just centering this as best as I can because I'm not looking straight over it. I don't want to put my head in the camera. I think that looks okay. All right, so just using dimensionals, look how that looks. It's like popped up, right? Can you see that? Okay, so now the last thing is to add some ribbon. So I dug out something in my stash, and this one is just a regular, what is this? A gold colored shimmer ribbon. It's retired, but it's in my stash and I'm going to use it because I feel like it's the right width for this card. I didn't want a really big fat ribbon because it's a very small accent piece. So I like to tie my ribbons right on the spool. I don't cut it off because then if I make a mistake in the length, I can just untie it and start again. And I don't waste any. Whoops. Okay, there we go. So I need a really small bowl for this, and I will just adjust it as I go. I'm trying to make the little bow parts a little bit shorter, and I'm just pulling it and adjusting as I need to. I think that looks about right. Okay, so now I'm just going to cut this. And I'm just going to trim this side too so it's equal. Oh, which side? I need to cut it this way so it's the same. There we go. Okay. And I'm just going to attach that using a glue dot. I like to cut my glue dots in half, so I feel like I'm going to stick my glue dot right there. And I really feel like a whole glue dot is going to really hang off, and I don't really need a whole glue dot. Although this is a bigger bow and it has room for a big glue dot, I think I will still cut it in half. So I just use my scissors. I have a separate pair of scissors that I keep for cutting adhesives because they get all gummy. Oh, and it's stuck to the scissors, so I'm going to pull it off the scissor using the ribbon. So I'm just going to stick it on the back of the ribbon there. So it's stuck on the back of my ribbon now, and I'm just going to use it to adhere my bow onto this circle and hide the bottom edge of that greenery. And that's pretty much all there is to it. All right. And now all I'm going to do is get the ephemera pack out and get this sentiment. Let's see. I mean, you could use something different. You could put thinking of you. That would work too. I think it needs to be a short piece, like that fits like right in here. Because this one was almost too long, but it's just perfect actually, it turned out. But you can play around with it, with all the sentiments. I'm just trying to find that thinking of you page. Oh, there it is. Oh, not thinking of you. 'Tis the season. If you haven't joined my show before, or my videos, my lives, that this is reality crafting. I make mistakes. People make mistakes. And when you're doing it live, there's no escaping and hiding it. There's a lot of reality crafting going on. Okay, so I would like to just position my my pieces before I go ahead and adhere. So if you notice, like because the DSP is cut in a slightly different spot, you know, I just want to make sure that I don't partially cut and cover something up, although, you know, it really doesn't matter a huge amount if I cover up part of a bird. But, you know, you might just want to be mindful of where you place your sentiments and such, right? So that you don't, you know, partially cut off a bird. So I think it'll be fine here. I'm going to end up covering the two birds underneath, but that's okay. Okay, so for the back, I am just going to use some glue. And I'm not going to put it right on the edge because that will give me the ability to place the embellishment and move it around a little bit, because if it was right on the edge, as soon as you move it, you'll see the glue. But if I put it a little bit further in, not against the edge, I will have space to move it around a little bit, wiggle it if needed, so that it will and it will not show the glue underneath on the back of the card, on the front of the card, I mean. Okay, so this is, I haven't pressed it down, but the glue is there. I just want to make sure I have enough room for 'Tis the Season. So that's going to go here. I think that's going to work. So I'm just going to nudge it over just a tiny bit. Okay. And this, I will just put a little bit of glue to. As you can see, I love my tweezers. They really, really help placing things and not having to touch the glue and get my fingers all sticky. And then I can also see where I'm placing things without my hands in the way. So if you don't have tweezers, I highly recommend them. Okay, so there you go. That is like a super easy card for the beginning of the year. Nothing hard, no stamping. You can just use the DSP, use the ephemera pack, a couple of embellishments from the stash, and you're good. It's a really simple card, but I really like how it turned out. So that is this week's card. It was really fast to you know, in the end, very fast to make, very easy, and it just took me a while last night to get it all together, to think of the ideas and lay things out. Like I said, my crafting mojo's feels like it's like stuck. But I think we're getting into the swing of things. So I hope you enjoyed it. Hope you're inspired. Leave me a note in the comments if you liked it. And I hope you have a great week and happy crafting. I will see you next week for the next weekly this or that. Have a great day, everybody.